I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. You may be seated. I want to welcome all of you in attendance tonight, as well as those that might be watching on Cable TV 7, to tonight's Blue Springs City Council meeting. The next item is the consent agenda. Are there items that need to be pulled? If not, I'll entertain a motion for approval.
So moved.
There a second?
Second.
Roll call, please.
Councilman Lauer.
Aye.
Councilman Levisay.
Aye.
Councilman Fowler.
Aye.
Councilman Carter.
Aye.
Councilman Edmondson.
Aye.
Councilman Bowerman.
Aye.
Carried unanimously.
Next, we have a presentation on the wall that heals. This is something that I'm excited about. There are a lot of people excited about it. Matter of fact, there have been a number of resolutions passed, beginning with Jackson County and a number of our surrounding sister cities. So that being said, I guess we will turn it over to Kim and Eleanor Frazier, who has spent countless hours. I think the countdown is a week from tomorrow, we will actually have the wall arriving in Blue Springs. That, I will turn it over to you.
Evening.
Roscoe and Kim and Eleanor.
Evening, Council. I'm Kim Nakahoto, Communications Manager, and I'm Community Awareness Chair for the Wall That Heals. To my right is Eleanor Frazier. She is the Chairman of the Wall That Heals Executive Committee, and to my left is Roscoe Ryder, who is our Parks and Recreation Director. Tonight, our presentation, all we want to do is kind of give you guys a brief gloss over of the Wall That Heals, the event that's coming September 30th to October 3rd in Pink Hill Park. A little backgrounder on the Wall That Heals. The Wall That Heals is a half-size traveling 250-foot replica of the original Vietnam War Memorial in Washington, D.C. This is designed to travel around the United States so that people who wanted to visit the Washington, D.C. version but didn't have the means to could actually visit it in the comfort of their own community. It was created in 1996 for that reason. A little background on the Vietnam War. The war lasted from 1959 to 1975 and was the longest war in United States history. The Vietnam War claimed the lives of more than 58,000 Americans, and more than 300,000 Americans were injured during the Vietnam War. The wall itself will be coming to Pink Hill Park. It will be exhibited September 30th through October 3rd. It is open to the public for free, 24 hours a day while it is here in Blue Springs. There are several highlights to hosting this kind of event within a community, aside from the honor of which it dictates to be held within a community. There is an economic impact. We are expecting over 75,000 visitors within the 4 days that it is here within the metro area. Visitors, we have received many calls from people living outside of Blue Springs, as far away from Iowa, Nebraska, down in the Boot Hill, that are going to be coming to Blue Springs specifically for this event. So our restaurants, lodging, retail are expected to benefit from this kind of event. And on top of that, we'll be able to showcase our community to all of our visitors, showing all of our new shopping, our tourism, our culture, and educational possibilities here in Blue Springs. There's one of our big partners is the Blue Springs School District, and they are producing documentary videos, they are publishing essays, they are helping to coordinate all the field trips that are going to be visiting the wall while it's here. Most of the field trips will be occurring on the Thursday and Friday of the event. They are also coordinating with colleges, local libraries, and public community organizations to help educate visitors about the Vietnam War era before they come visit the wall. I'm just going to kind of go over some program highlights. One of the big draws that we have is we are offering either a commemorative medal, a lapel patch, or a lapel pin, a patch or lapel pin, to all Vietnam veterans who visit the wall within Blue Springs. There are a few guidelines. The commemorative medal will be for all in-theater Vietnam veterans. They will get their choice of either the medal, lapel pin, or patch. Vietnam veterans not serving within theater, and in theater is described with all countries, the in theater is the countries of Vietnam, Laos, Cambodia, Thailand, and surrounding waters of these countries, combat support, airspace of these countries. All Vietnam veterans will receive a certificate of appreciation no matter where they served. The wall that heals, the actual wall will be in the south ball field of Pink Hill Park. The education exhibit will be in the north ball field. Though we have several different vendors, or several different exhibitors that will be within that field, including the Salvation Army, ATK, the Red Cross, donut dollies, static military equipment. There will be a Vietnamese cultural display to better educate everybody on kind of their side of the Vietnam War. It heavily impacted them, and their tale is just as important as America's tale in that area. As well as the Vietnam Veterans Memorial Fund Education Center. That center is actually what the wall comes in, so it actually gets unpacked and it's built into it. The doors open up and they have their own display that has memorabilia, donated artifacts, things like that. There will be a veterans counseling service that will be available 24 hours a day while the event is here. That way, if a veteran comes in at 2 o'clock in the morning because they want solace and want to be able to visit the wall when no one else is around, but they feel the need that they'd like to talk to somebody while they're there, there will be somebody there. All the shelter houses will become welcome centers for the visitors. I didn't put this in there, but in all of those welcome centers, we are actually having large maps of the Vietnam theater printed out so people can actually write down who they are and where they were and served, and perhaps talk to somebody else about their service there. Some of as I mentioned, that the Wall That Heals will be exhibited starting September 30th, but it actually will come into Blue Springs on Tuesday, September 28th. We are hosting we're calling it a parade. It is being coordinated by the Patriot Guard, and it will pretty much, the Patriot Guard will pick up the wall from Concordia, Missouri at 12:30. Our contact said that if it's a beautiful sunny day, he sees 300 to 500 motorcyclists attending this ride, welcoming them coming into Blue Springs. The wall is scheduled, weather pending and traffic pending, to hit Adams Dairy Parkway at 1:15 p.m., traveling south to 40, and then traveling west to 7, and heading north up 7 Highway to Pink Hill Park. I'm just going to briefly go over our program highlights. On Thursday and Friday's programs, they're very similar. I have a breakdown in front of you, and the breakdown can also be seen on our website. At 6:55 every morning, there's an awakening ceremony. At 8 a.m., the education field opens. And at 6:30 p.m. on Thursday and Friday, there is a reflection ceremony. Within the ceremony, we have several different guests and musical performances that will be at those. And at 6 p.m., the education field closes every night. On Saturday and Sunday, it's briefly the same. We have a 6:55 awakening ceremony at 8 o'clock. The education field opens at 2 p.m. The reflection ceremony starts on both Saturday and Sunday. There are military flyovers scheduled both days. On Saturday, it'll be the B-2 bomber, and on Sunday, it'll be a Chinook helicopter, and that helicopter will actually be landing on site. So if you've never seen one, it's pretty remarkable. And then at 6 p.m., the education fields close. Do you want to talk about parking? I'm going to introduce, I'm on a roll. Parking. There are 220 parking spaces within Pink Hill Park. We have identified 14 satellite parking facilities. There are 9 north of I-70 off 7 Highway, and there are 5 south of I-70 off 7 Highway. We will be providing a shuttle service all 4 days, Thursday and Friday, from 5 p.m. to 8:30 p.m. It's pretty much just to handle our uptick of people who are going to be hopefully attending our program services. And on Saturday and Sunday from 10 a.m. to 8 p.m., we are providing shuttle services from those satellite parking facilities as well. We'll be doing some news releases and uploading the schedule and maps to our website within this week. As you can understand, traffic control is a concern of ours. Pink Hill Road will be restriped into 3 lanes. Park Hill. Park Road. I've done that all day. 1 lane for entrance into the park, 1 for Burr Oak and Park Road residents. That's going to be the center lane, and then 1 as an exit. MoDOT is going to help assist us with traffic management on 7 Highway during peak times. And there will be volunteers in Pink Hill Park helping with parking and traffic flow for the events. Event staff, emergency vehicles, organized groups, and buses will access the park from Pink Hill Road. That's the north side. We're doing that for emergency responders and to alleviate some of the traffic that will be coming into our main entrance. Emergency management, we are actually treating this as some of you are familiar with NIMS and emergency management. We are actually treating this as a training exercise to kind of better verse ourselves in the terminology and forms. The City of Blue Springs, the Blue Springs Police Department, Central Jackson County Fire Protection District, Jackson County Sheriff, Lake Tapawingo Sheriff, Lake Lotawana Sheriff, and the Missouri Department of Transportation we are all together in this as a training exercise, and we've been meeting weekly to talk about what could happen, what should happen, how would we handle any kind of event should it come up, and we are developing an action and incident plan that will be in place for time of the event. So if anything does happen, there won't be any jurisdictional breakdown of communication or who does what when. Volunteers, this event wouldn't even be possible if it wasn't for volunteers. All the planning, production, donations necessary to bring the wall here and to do all of the events have all been provided by volunteers. We are expecting to have over 200 volunteers during the 4 days to help us pull this off. As well as security, the wall dictates that we must have it secured for 24 hours a day. So we will be providing security from the day it hits Blue Springs on Tuesday to the day it leaves on Monday. I've kind of gone through this pretty quickly. Do you guys have any questions? Yes, ma'am.
Any questions?
Yes,
Councilman?
very excited about this as well, and I know many members of our community, particularly the veterans, are very excited to see this come. A couple of questions. One that I have gotten from several of our Vietnam veterans is, do they need to bring any kind of certificate or any sort of validation that they were in the Vietnam War?
Do you want to handle it?
We have a veterans registration form that they will complete before they receive the medal or pin or patch. And the form is on the website if they want to download it, or it will be available on site for them to complete. They do not need to bring any additional evidence of their service. We feel that they have waited long enough. We will look them in the eye and ask them if this is where you served, and they will give us their answer, and we believe that most people will be honorable.
Okay, well, I appreciate that. And then another question. It says that this is open 24 hours, but yet I notice it says the educational field will only be open from 8 to 6. Could you differentiate between the educational field and the wall?
Yes, the wall itself will be open for visiting by anyone from the moment starts at 8 o'clock on Thursday morning or 6:55 on Thursday morning until that evening on Sunday. But the educational exhibits are something that are unique to our event. So we have asked for the various exhibitors to come in. Those are being placed in the north field, not where the wall is, in a separate field. This is to help educate people about what it was like in Vietnam, what kind of organizations were there, and then also the veterans, the service organizations will be located along the road which is called Veterans Way, or right outside of the fence area. So along where the wall is itself will be open to veterans for veterans and friends for 24 hours a day. But the rest are simply exhibits, and so they are limited from 8 to 6.
Thank you so much, and thank you for all your work in putting this together.
Any other questions, comments? Seeing none, again, I want to thank all of you for your countless hours in working to make this happen. And I specifically want to acknowledge the contributions to be able to make the awards possible. A number of people have given contributions. There have been a number of people that have approached me and have given checks that qualified for the plaque, and they said, we don't want the plaque. So that shows their spirit. But I want to acknowledge ATK for $15,000, Want to acknowledge Hy-Vee for $15,000, and Whiskey Tango with KFKF and Councilman Carter presented a check this week for over $11,000. All that helps in making this possible, in addition to the countless hours. And you've gotten calls from all over, and a member of my unit will be here from Columbus, Georgia. So we're happy about that. Mr. Johnson.
Your Honor, I want to just recognize the great work of staff and all the other entities that have participated in getting us to this point in time. There's been a tremendous amount of effort, as Kim has identified in her presentation. Certainly, Eleanor, we think you are now part of city staff at City Hall, and you have been putting in an inordinate amount of hours in preparation of this event over a long period of time. Our Parks Director, Roscoe Ryder, certainly Kim, our Communications Manager, but also our Police Department, our other Parks employees, our Public Works Department, because there has been a concerted effort to prepare and look at our entire community, ranging from cleanup of lots that need to be mowed and cleaned up and trash along 7 Highway to make our community presentable, to all of the logistics that go into the traffic that is yet to be seen. I can tell you there have been a number of contingency plans that have been developed and evaluated, and they're still working on those in order to make this a successful event for everybody. And sometimes there are projects in the organization and community that come along that are in addition to our normal things that we do. A couple of years ago, we were fortunate to have the American Idol from our community, and that involved a number of logistics and planning exercises. I would say this has perhaps taken that beyond. And so again, hats off to everybody who's been working so diligently to bring it to this point in time, and I'm confident that with their work, you're going to be very pleased with the outcome.
Thank you, Mr. Johnson. Anyone else with any comments? If not, thank you for making that presentation. The countdown is drawing nigh. A week from tomorrow will be the very beginning, and then it will conclude October 3rd. So again, thank you for all your help. Thank you for your support.
And I want to thank everyone in our community and beyond for all the support that they have given the Wall of Heels. It really is a special feeling when people call and say, we want to be a part. And it is a moment in history, and it's a moment in Blue Springs history, and we appreciate the opportunity to do this.
Thank you. Next, we'll go to some actual other business that we need to take care of. Introduction and reading of Bill 4140.
I'll introduce it, Your Honor.
Okay.
First reading of Bill Number 4140, an ordinance authorizing the mayor or city administrator of the city of Blue Springs to enter into an agreement with the Missouri Highways and Transportation Commission.
Move the bill be approved on its first reading and proceed with the second.
Is there a second?
Second.
Discussion? All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Opposed, no?
Second reading of Bill Number 4140, an ordinance authorizing the mayor or city administrator of the city of Blue Springs to enter into an agreement with the Missouri Highways and Transportation Commission.
Your Honor, I move that it be approved on its second reading and given its proper ordinance number.
Is there a second?
Second?
Discussion? Roll call?
Councilman Levesey?
Aye.
Councilman Fowler?
Aye.
Councilman Carter?
Aye.
Councilman Edmondson?
Aye.
Councilman Bowerman?
Aye.
Councilman Lauer?
Aye.
Carried unanimously, given ordinance number 4315.
Thank you. Introduction and reading of Bill 4141.
I'll introduce it, Your Honor.
Okay.
First reading of Bill Number 4141, an ordinance amending Chapter 390, street exhibitions, parades, etc. of the Code of Ordinances, City of Blue Springs, Missouri, to update said chapter and include provisions concerning street fairs, exhibitions, festivals, concerts, parades, shows, funeral, memorial services, memorial exhibitions, and demonstrations.
Move the bill be approved on its first reading and proceed with the second.
Is there a second?
Second.
Discussion? All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Opposed, no?
Second reading of Bill Number 4141, an ordinance amending Chapter 390, street exhibitions, parades, etc. of the Code of Ordinances, City of Blue Springs, Missouri, to update said chapter and include provisions concerning street fairs, exhibitions, festivals, concerts, parade shows, funeral memorial services, memorial exhibitions, and demonstrations.
Your Honor, I move to be approved on its second reading and given its proper ordinance number.
Discussion? Roll call?
Do we need a second?
I'll second that, Your Honor.
Oh,
Yes.
we didn't get a second?
Councilman Fowler?
Aye.
Councilman Carter?
Aye.
Councilman Edmondson?
Aye.
Councilman Bowerman?
Aye.
Councilman Lauer?
Aye.
Councilman Levesey?
Aye.
Carried unanimously, given ordinance number 4316.
Next, we have the second reading of Bill 4134, adopting the FY 2010-2011 budget.
Move the bill be approved on its second and final reading and assign the appropriate ordinance number.
Is there a second?
Second.
Discussion? Roll call.
Councilman Carter?
Aye.
Councilman Edmondson?
Aye.
Councilman Bowerman?
Aye.
Councilman Lauer?
Aye.
Councilman Levisay?
Aye.
Councilman Fowler?
Aye.
Carried unanimously, given ordinance number 4317.
Thank you. Next, we need a motion to table the second reading of Bill 4121 until the October 18th council meeting.
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Opposed, no? Next, we have a...
Same thing on number 9.
Yeah, same thing on number 9, the second reading of Bill 4122. A motion to table it until the October 18th.
So moved.
Second?
Second.
All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Opposed, no? Okay, that went relatively fast. And that brings us down to the mayoral announcements. You heard about the countdown to the wall coming to Blue Springs. The only other thing that I have is, last week at the Missouri Municipal League annual conference, I was elected president. And for those that don't know what the Missouri Municipal League is, it's an organization that represents 660 municipalities in the state. They help them with services and also kind of be a watchdog in Jefferson City to keep the state from imposing things on us locally. And I've always said government served best is that it's served locally because they see you at the grocery store. When you're in Jefferson City, you're 145 miles removed. And when you go to Washington, D.C., you're 1,000 miles removed. So we're the ones on the front lines. And so that organization has been in existence for 76 years. So it's a good organization.
Congratulations, Your Honor.
Thank you.
Yes.
Next brings us to, without forgetting it, thoughts to ponder. I have someone to remind me in case I get carried away and don't remember to do that. Councilman Byron. Tonight, there is no Arthur that's recognized, so it's anonymous. The distance a person goes is not as important as the direction. That concludes the mayoral announcements. Next, we have visitors, and I do have one visitor's form, and that is from, is it Micah Funk? Micah Funk, would you come forward? You want to talk about the condition of Walnut Street. I just drove that this weekend. I bet you're going to say the same stuff that I'm thinking.
Probably, Your Honor. My name's Micah Funk. I
Yes, that's
live off of 24th and Walnut Street, approximately there, and I have a couple of streets I would like to address as well as some trees. Walnut Street, as you know, is pretty potholy. If you haven't drove it recently, you might take a stroll down there. And I've noticed in the past year that you guys have resurfaced several of the side streets off of Walnut, and Walnut is getting pretty potholy, as I've said already. And I was wanting to find out, I guess, when Walnut would be resurfaced. And there's also the issue of 19th Street. It's getting a little bit interesting in parts of it as far as little potholes go. And I do want to say thank you very much for doing Moreland School Road. That was really bad, especially by CVS. The other issue I would like to ask is there any way, shape, or form you could address the trees off of Liggett and 12th at that stop sign there? They block anyone who wants to turn left, and you have to pull out way past the crosswalk sign right out there to try to see around the trees to make a left-hand turn, or if you're even wanting to go straight across to the other side of 12th. I would like to petition, I guess, for lack of a better word, to have them trimmed back, please, so that any accidents that might occur could be prevented, because I almost got into an accident one day.
Okay,
So-
let us have staff address some of those, and certainly Walnut is one that we certainly are aware of, and when I saw your card, I had a brief conversation with staff, and that's a very expensive venture, and I'm going to let Mr. Johnson, I'll let you have your staff, or if you want to address that.
Certainly, Your Honor. Let me begin by Liggett and 12th. We'll have somebody go out first thing tomorrow from our Public Works Department and take a look at those trees. If the trees are in public right-of-way, it's an easy task to address. We can assess those. If the trees are located on private property, then we'll need to contact the property owners and see if we can have some cooperation. But that's easy, and our Public Works Director, Oliver DeGreat, will have staff follow up, and we'll see what we can do to improve that. With regard to Walnut and the overlay and improvement of that, I know we have our two district councilmen here who have both approached me and have asked questions about the condition of Walnut. There are a couple of different approaches that can be taken on that particular stretch. We can potentially do an overlay where you simply go in and you mill the asphalt that exists and then you overlay it. But there's been some other interest in perhaps doing a complete road reconstruction. Those are two different approaches, and as a result, they have two different price tags. And a total road reconstruction is a lot more involved and would involve a substantial more allocation of resources from the city budget than an overlay. Nevertheless, that request has been made of staff, and that's something that we would begin to evaluate and take through our annual budgeting process. Ultimately, an allocation for that particular road would be up to the city council, but certainly staff's been made aware that it's a concern and it's something that we will evaluate and bring back to the council. And it covered two of your three, and you had mentioned 19th Street.
Yes.
Condition of the asphalt.
Yes. There's right past the school right there, there's some pretty big potholes on the other side at that four-way stop. And when you have a sleeping baby in the car, it's kind of like, ooh.
We will have somebody out tomorrow to take a look at those potholes and evaluate the condition and get them fixed. And I'm looking at my Public Works Director, and he's shaking his head. I think we have a typical standard of a 48-hour time frame and turnaround on fixing potholes, but we'll get somebody out there and take a look at that as quickly as possible.
Thank you.
Any other?
I think I'm done. Thank you very much for
All
your
right,
time.
thank you for coming and bringing those things to our attention.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
I don't have any other visitors forums. Is there a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Opposed, no? We adjourn.